What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bar Show. I am your host, Supreme Overlord, and we are blessed to be on the part of the Let's Skull podcast, and we're even more blessed by having show favorite here, Q-Dogg, a member of the Real to Sports podcast. So don't forget to join us on Saturdays. But you know what? We got a lot of Vikings talk, specifically the reaction to Kwesi Adofo-Mensah getting fired. You know, was it the shocking of the timing that got you? Was it the draft and personnel that he hasn't been, has been hit and miss with? Is it Sam Darnold making it to the Super Bowl? His inexperience as GM, or, is it the speculated tension that we've heard this week? We're going to dive into it, but before we do, let's get the intro started. What is going on? Welcome. Q-Dogg, introduce yourself for those that don't know.
Oh, okay then. Those of you on the Purple and Gold Ball podcast, I am Q-Dogg. I am one of the members of the Real to Sports podcast. We're on every Tuesday at 7 o'clock and also every Saturday at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So we bring some of the really sports news and exciting information about the NFL and what's going on.
Absolutely. Q-Dogg is definitely one of the veteran voices over there on the Real to Sports podcast. I definitely always submit to Mr. Q-Dogg's opinion because I am still a baby Vikings fan in comparison. I'm still optimistic. I'm still naive, right? So sometimes I drink a little bit too much of the purple Kool-Aid. But we have Q-Dogg here. I know he was itching on Saturday to just let everybody know what was on his mind when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, what's to come next year, and the firing of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. For me, real quickly, it was a bit of a surprise. All the reporting that we had seen all season led us to believe that, it was all sunshine and rainbows. And even if we would have lost out, KOC and Kwesi's job was safe. He just got an extension. So it was a bit of a shock to me when it happened, but not for, but it is still what Vikings do. We still make these kind of decisions out of the blue. We make these weird head scratchers, but I'm going to let you take over, Q-Dogg, because I know you have a lot to say in regards to the matter. Let us know what is on your mind about Kwesi, about the Vikings, about JJ, anything you want to talk about. The floor is yours.
Well, thanks for having me on. Like you said, Supreme, the firing of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was a shock to all of the Viking Nation. To me, it was a shock far as it happened, but to me, I was a candidate for this all along. Me being a deep Viking fans, I look deep into the organization, and I knew there was a problem that was resisting in the upper management. And so, the team, we always fight. We competitive. We play good ball during the regular season, but we just can't seem to make it to the playoffs. Or Kevin O'Connell hasn't made to the playoffs or won a playoff game. Really, everybody want to say that it's really KOC or if it's Kwesi or whatever. Yeah, I think it's really about the front office, and I think I want to break down and tell everybody that what really I believe, or my belief, that what really actually happened. Like Supreme say, Kwesi got an extension after Kevin O'Connell got his extension last year, and Kevin O'Connell was coach of the year coming into this year. And so we thought everything was running good. KOC get this extension, then Kwesi Adofo-Mensah get his extension right behind it. And so, but it was a lot of things and tension that was going on behind doors that fans like us did not know, that they kept in house, which is okay. That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. Keep it in house. But what actually went on, we knew that and so, but Brian Flores was one of our hot commodities once the season ended. We knew that we had to bring him back in house, because if we didn't bring him back in house, man, with Devontae Jones leaving to be the defensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders, which is the same position that Brian Flores interviewed for when the season was over, and that's ironic. I'm gonna get into that. So that being said, Brian Flores. Oh Lord have mercy. Sorry about that. Brian Flores, he went out on his interviews, and he had 2 with the Pittsburgh Steelers and also 1 with the Baltimore Ravens, and so he ended up signing a contract with the Vikings. Why this search was on, still didn't solidify that he was going to be with the Vikings, because if a head coaching job came up, and he would eventually leave for the head coaching job. But what I find is peculiar about this is that he also interviewed for a defensive coordinator job with the Washington Commanders. Now, why would you interview for a defensive coordinator job when you got the defensive coordinator job here? Quite evident, it was something that was going on with upper management that he didn't like. So what happened was, this what the trick was. The Senior Bowl was last week. And when you have the Senior Bowl, most of your coaches and your defensive coordinator, your offensive coordinators, they go to Mobile, Alabama to scout the Senior Bowl. What the Wills did, they sent Kwesi down there by himself for the whole week to scout the offensive line and defensive line. Kevin O'Connell or Brian Flores did not travel with him. They stayed behind. I think behind closed doors, they had a private meeting with the Wills. And when they had a private meeting with the Wills, this is what I believe would happen. You got KOC and you got Brian Flores. KOC offensive-minded, Brian Flores defensive-minded, cannot be argued. 2 of the best defensive and offensive coordinator in this league. You can't dispute that. All right. Here where I'm getting to the point is that Kwesi is the man that controls the contracts. Now, we can go back to when he the one was responsible for drafting J.J. McCarthy. Kevin O'Connell said he wasn't ready. He didn't want him. But Kwesi, being an analytical guy and also Wall Street with the money, he was all about the money. And the money he was saving on a rookie contract. So he ignored Kevin O'Connell wanting to keep Sam Darnold and let him walk. Okay? Now, here's Brian Flores. He done left and applied for a defensive coordinator. So it had to be something in that package they offered Brian Flores for him to come back in his organization. So when they met, when Kwesi was down in Mobile, Alabama, they expressed their concerns about how he was actually in the way of them getting the kind of talent that they wanted. Because they was conflicting heads. They was all about talent. These were football men. And Kwesi was all about those numbers. He didn't care about the talent. He was looking at the numbers. So now what done happened is that the Wills listened to this. And Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores, no matter what you do, he just so good at what he do, it don't matter who you give to him, he gonna make it happen. He's been proving it time and time again. But if you want him to have a Super Bowl caliber defense, you need to let him get the players he wants and not let somebody else, the general manager, intervene in the type of player he wants. Same thing on the bounce on the side, the offensive side of the ball with Kevin O'Connell. he needs to get the kind of players that he want, but the kind of players that he want, he has to pull arms with Kwesi because of the money. That's what it was all about.
Absolutely.
And when the Wills looked at that, the Wills looked at that we're not going to get nowhere. We're not going to get into the playoffs. And with this money thing that's blocking these two masterminds of getting the type of players that they wanted. Mighty ironic, when they fired Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the next day, KOC hired 4 coaches. 4 coaches. Now, when you hire a coach, you got to interview him, virtual interview him in person. That takes a little time. I believe this was going on behind closed doors all along. How can the next day, can you just hire 4 coaches out of the blue? Come on, think about it now, Purple Nation, Purple Gang. Drink that purple Kool-Aid. Talk to me. Think a little bit.
Let's go,
Think
man.
a little bit now. Come on now. This been going behind the doors all along. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah cannot draft. I said that time and time again. He never had a Pro Bowler in the 4 years that he's been drafted. The man is a Wall Street guy, analytical guy, numbers, data, protractors, however you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? He's not a football guy. KOC and Brian Flores are football guys. It's a difference. And when football guys are come against a guy with a mind for money, it's a blockage. It's a blockage, man. It's a blockage. So that's why they sent him down to Mobile, Alabama. He didn't know nothing about this secret meeting. I promise you he didn't know. They went to the Wills and expressed their concerns while he was down there biting the bait. And when the Wills heard them boys out, and he knew that he had to give these guys what they want. Give them the green light. And so that's why Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was expendable to get him out of there. And I really felt that was the right move. When you got 2 masterminds in this league, offensive and defensive, you got to give these guys what they want, man. You got to give them what they want, man. They know what they're doing. Absolutely. And so I really feel KOC is on pressure from Brian Flores doing what he's doing, and also from Sam Darnold going on to the Super Bowl. It don't look good. It don't look good for KOC. So going into this year, he cannot, and he knows he cannot go with J.J. McCarthy. He can't do it. It won't work for him.
We will definitely get into that here in a moment there, Q-Dogg.
He on the search for a quarterback that he needs. Now he got the green light. Kwesi is not in the way. Kwesi, think about it now. Purple Gang, Skull Nation, Purple Kool-Aid drinkers. Think about it. Now I'm telling you now, the day he got fired now, this is coincidental, man. The day he got fired, the man hired 4 coaches. He been doing that. All he had to do was get the green light to get Kwesi out the way. Once he got him out of the way, he started making moves. Absolutely. This is what I like. I don't like the Vikings being stagnant. This is what I like. KOC know his head is on the guillotine. And he know it. He ain't going out like no sucker. I'm telling you, this division is getting tough. We got two teams that went in the playoffs this year. And really 3. Well, Green Bay, Barrels,
Lions
Chicago.
missed.
Everybody went but us. No, Green Bay, Chicago. That was
That's it. Yeah, that was it.
Lions missed, us and Detroit, but Detroit will be back. So it's a tough division for us to fight. We got to get the right personnel in there. And so those boys went to the Wills and expressed their concerns. And I believe they gave Brian Flores, they gave him some green light. And that lucrative, they gave him the green light to do some things he want to do. Get the players he want. But the common denominator with Kwesi was in the way with his numbers.
Absolutely.
They can come to him all they want to about this, but Kwesi, he's a numbers guy. And if the numbers ain't right, he ain't going to pull the trigger. So they got to deal with what he allows to come on the team. and it's not working, man. He tried it for 4 years. I like Kwesi. I think he's a good guy, but he was not good for this team, not for these two type of coordinators. I mean, these two type of genius minds that we have, two of the genius minds in this league. And I really feel that would happen when they sent him to Mobile, Alabama. They sent a secret meeting with the Wills. They put their heads together and expressed their concerns. The Wills heard them out, and they made their move when he came back. That's the only way this happened. Then the next day, the man bring in 4 coaches in to help his staff immediately. These 4 coaches was already in place. All he needed was the green light to bring them in. So, Purple Gang, think about that, baby. I'm just giving you the blueprint. I might be wrong, but this is the Q-Dogg. I've been Vikings since 1989, baby. I don't know my team, and I'm telling you, I knew 2 things. I knew what had to happen. We had to get Brian Flores. That was a must-have. We got him back. I knew we couldn't let Kwesi be responsible for this draft. We got a number of 8 picks in this draft. We're strong in this draft. We could not let him handle the draft, and this happened. Boy, I'm telling you, Vikings, y'all listen to me. If you ever want to hire me, I'm available. Just call my number. I'm down here in Winston-Salem. Just fly me in, baby. And I swear, I will run this organization, the Wills. Call me Wills. Call me Will Brothers. Trust me, baby. I can make the move, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Q-Dogg spitting facts right there. Man, I wanted to jump in so many times just because we got, we got Host in the house. We got Aiden. We got Dylan. We got Eric in the house. We got Lefty. And most importantly, we got Sheila Dupree in the house.
What's up, Sheila Dupree? Yes, baby. Get on in there.
So you know what? You guys heard it here first. Absolutely blown away. I try to, wow. Wow. You heard it here first. You know what? I can't disagree with anything that you said. It makes total sense for him to be going down there by himself, for them to kind of, have that secret meeting and make the decision. You're right. Absolutely right. When I think about it now, after what you've said, and my brain starts thinking, I'm like, you know what? Everything else was progressing, on schedule. Maybe some areas were ahead of schedule. Definitely the defense was ahead of schedule, right? I don't think anybody expected B-Flow to get the defense as good as it was as fast as he did. And the thing that's been lagging has been Kwesi. He's had some great offseason acquisitions through the free agency. He's hit a couple guys, Will Riker, Jordan Addison, but it has been too little in comparison. He's not growing as fast as the rest of the team is growing, and we can't sit back and wait, allow for him to grow when we're trying to let JJ grow, or we're trying to let the defense grow. We're trying to let KOC's vision come to light. Abso-freaking-lutely. And one thing that you said, Q-Dogg, totally sold me on it, okay? Because I was kind of having this mindset, like, you know what? You could have waited at least until after the Super Bowl, because what happens if Sam goes out there and, throws for 123 yards, 3 interceptions, and loses the game and looks, proves everybody wrong. You know what I mean? But at the same time, everything that you said, the one thing that made me go, you know what? Q-Dogg's right. We have 2 football minds, a leader of men in Brian Flores, and we got a football guy in Kevin O'Connell. They're not the analytics guy. They're not the Moneyball type of guys, right? And Moneyball guys and actual sport guys, they clash. Right. And then we've been getting the reporting about tension in the building with Kwesi and the guys. Right. So I'm 1,000% sold. You know what? I was going to sit back and say, you know what? We probably should have waited until after the Super Bowl, because if Sam Darnold goes and lays an egg and gets destroyed in the Super Bowl, it's going to look bad. But, at this point, I don't think even that would have saved his job. I think you're 100% right.
No,
they are not ready to let him have the draft again, because if he goes out there and hits on nobody in those 8 picks, we're screwed. We're screwed, especially with the needs that we have on O-line, D-line, linebacker, safety, corner. We need to have a very productive draft. So I am 100% on board with you. Thank you, everybody that's jumping on here, talking to us, letting us know what it's about. Lefty, Aiden, Eric, New Mexico's in the house. Sheila Dupree, Dylan, Aiden. Aiden wanted to ask a question here for you, and I'm going to let you answer it. Do you think Jordan Addison is playing for Minnesota Vikings week 1 or a new team next year?
I think Jordan Allison is so talented. We know he's so talented, and I really think that he takes KOC as a joke. KOC is not a hardcore coach, and he's a young man that has a tendency to get in trouble with the law in a way. Unfortunately, this incident he got in, it was dismissed. They didn't file no charges, so that saved him. I think what they should do is not exercise his fifth-year option. Concentrate on Jalen Nader, sign him, and then you have Addison for one more year and give him a chance to produce. And then you make a decision from there on. Then you can trade him. Let him get some production in, so you can put that behind him, and teams don't see the off-field distraction more than they see the numbers. Now they're gonna see the off-field distraction, and it's hard to trade him right now. It's hard. So let him, you kind of play with him the way he's playing with you. Let him get in, work his numbers up, get his numbers up, show the Jordan Addison that he is, and without exercising that fifth-year option, then other teams will be calling for him. I mean, they're calling for him now. I think the 49ers are calling for him now, but I don't know if they back down because he keep getting the legal issues. But we're not gonna get nothing for him. We'll get a cheap option. We need to get a first rounder from this guy. That's what we need. So we let him get in, work him way up to the first round pedigree that he was when he first came in. Then, therefore, we can do the Stephon Diggs thing, if you know what I mean. So, and then we can get somebody good in terms of get up somebody good. So, but we got to let this play out. Let it play out.
Absolutely. Great. Well said. I was thinking that he was going to be a Viking and start the next year for sure. For similar reasons, I think that it was just trade value. That's the way I was looking at it. Same as you. I don't think anybody's going to want to pay what we'd want for him because he is a premier number 2 when you ignore the off the field issues, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing host wants to hear. An orale, let's go, guys, as well as he wants to hear some barking from the Q-Dogg. There we go. But the division is getting shooken up. Okay, we know that the Detroit Lions are. You say that they're going to be back, but I feel like they might have one last kind of hurrah at it. I feel like their team is overpaid. They're going to lose a lot of the glue guys in the offseason, and the guys that do all the stuff that don't show up on the stat sheets that kind of supplement the superstars, and all these superstars are overpaid now. So I think it's going to be a solid core, but for them to be as dominant, I feel like it's going to slowly fall off, and they're going to go back to what we know the Lions to become because they're just the rerun kings. So I wanted to say that maybe we have to worry about them 1, maybe 2 more years, but that still means that this next year when it's going to be KOC's head on the line, because I've been saying, you know what? Give KOC in this offense another shot. Let them hopefully, by week 8, if everything goes to plan or if even things are a little choppy, if we're above 500 or even in a really, really good position, then we got to let them go. But for me, my cutoff is week 8. If we are below 500, if we look bad, at that point, I'm like, we got to move on. KOC, you're done at the end of the season, and it's Brian Flores' job. I wanted Harbaugh, right? So I want that type of guy. That's who I respond to. But I'm also very, very patient, and I'm understanding and compassionate. So I don't like to jump to conclusions. So it's like let them figure out. In this year, we really can't assess KOC and what he wants to do because of all the injuries that we had. And yes, injuries are part of the game, but when you have that many injuries in general, it's too hard to really make a good, solid assessment because then you end up cutting ties too early and then they end up on another team and then succeeding then. And then we look like idiots for moving on because of injuries. We could have just waited. So it's interesting to see. But, Chicago is going to get a first place schedule. right? They did so well this season because they were playing on a last place schedule. They had one of the easiest schedules going into the season, so it's no surprise that they won that many games. We're going to see now what they look like with a target on their back, and they struggled in the playoffs, right? So, and then they struggled against a 49ers team in the regular season. Wait, they lost against the 49ers if I'm not mistaken, but against the team that was decimated to injury. It was just scheme and Kyle Shanahan that basically was able to overcome them. So to me, they're still the little brothers in the league. They still got a lot to go. So I'm not too worried about them. But the Green Bay is still Green Bay. You know, they have injuries. You know, they have Micah Parsons now, and Jordan Love coming back if he can get a whole full season. We're starting to see more and more what he is now that he's gotten more years starting. I think this is going to be his 4th year starting, and there's nothing to worry about Jared Goff. It's Jared Goff. You know, he's Phillip Rivers 2.0. He's this day, you know, so big game Goff shows up when you put big games on him, right? So 3 points made it difficult for him to overcome.
Brian
and get out of
Flores
his
already
head.
sure we can do with him, so don't worry about that.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So the division is still going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but I feel like we're going to have an easier schedule where it's going to be a little bit. I like being in everybody's blind spot now. You know, we had our target on our back. We won 14 games last year, and people wanted to come at us hard, and we had a harder schedule. So next year, you know what? We're going to be the ones that people don't see coming, and then hopefully we figure it out for sure. The NFC in general too. If we could go back in time before we extended a contract to offer to Sam Darnold, if we would have known that the Eagles were going to be garbage, that the Lions were going to miss the playoffs, you know, that the 49ers were going to be decimated to injuries as well, I'm pretty sure they would have definitely paid him a lot more, because at that point you go, whoa, that's a way more beatable NFC, you know, so we don't need Sam to be perfect. We just need to be what he did last year. But we didn't. There was no way we were going to know that, and they expected an extremely tough NFC, which didn't play out. Is that going to be next year? Are the Eagles going to rally and come back strong like they were? Are the 49ers going to be solid and not have as many injuries and be an actual force to be reckoned with? Are the Lions going to actually do more than 10 wins? You know, like, there's still so much up in the air when it comes to NFC, right? So it's easy to say, yeah, we should have kept Sam, but it's only because we know what we know now. But let's move on to the elephant in the room. You spoke a little bit about it. Let's talk about J.J. McCarthy. It's no secret, I am a J.J. McCarthy guy. I'm wearing his jersey right now. I still believe in the kid. I haven't lost faith. I want him to start because I feel like if he gets a full season, he gets good protection, doesn't get injured, I think he's going to build on what he did this year, because every single game, there was one pass. There was so many things on top of the records that he made, and there's so many highlight plays where I was like, ooh, if he gets it together, he's going to be a dangerous man. Some of the placement, some of the over the top passes, some of the back shoulder throws, the timing things. Yeah, there was a lot of bad. But that is my in defense of JJ. Let him have it. Q-Dogg, I know you have a different opinion. Let me, bring that purple Kool-Aid down on me a little bit, make me a little bit humbled.
No, I can't do it, baby. I'm going to tell you, I understand what you're saying about J.J. McCarthy. He's a young crackerjack, and we like his spunkiness, and we like everything about him. But 2 points that you're missing. It's two people that's in this equation that KOC is coming from each side of KOC head. Is going to make his head explode if you don't get this right. Sam Darnold, Brian Flores. And Sam Darnold is on the move in the Super Bowl. And if he move in, if he win that Super Bowl, he's here. We already know what Brian Flores can do. He's going to, on his side of the ball, We know what he's going to do. Now, KOC cannot afford this. He cannot afford to take a chance in J.J. McCarthy, work on those mechanics, and expect for this guy to get him, propel him into the playoffs and beyond. Won't happen. I promise you, KOC is on the search. I hear the guy from 49. I hear Kyler Murray. He's going to bring in somebody that's going to fit the type of way that he wants to play ball. I prefer Kyler Murray. I like him. I think he'll fit well in his offense. But I really feel, don't be shocked, and Viking Nation, Purple Kool-Aid drinkers, Skull Nation, that you might see the last of J.J. McCarthy. I promise you that. Because KOC, think about his neck is on the guillotine, man. He got too much pressure going on. He can't afford to put this man back in there. He will be gone by week 6, and Brian Flores will be taking over. He don't want that. That's why he's making all these power moves. He finally got rid of Chris Cooper, the offensive line coach that was terrible for all these years. Now KFC is not the nice guy we know no more. He's making tough decisions. He's been supposed to doing that. Now you're making tough decisions. They'll put that nick on the guillotine. Now you're ready. You don't want that thing to come down. So he wants to save his job. KOC, he is at the pressure point. You're going to see a different type of KOC. I promise you that. And the people that he bring in. No holds barred. He got to save that job. And I promise you, J.J. McCarthy will not. And I repeat, you heard it from me on Purple and Gold Bars. You heard it from me on the Sports Podcast. J.J. McCarthy will not be the Viking quarterback this coming season. I promise you that.
That's a wild one. That's a wild one because,
the dog ain't known by the team now.
1,000% understand where you're coming from, and I'm a logical guy, and when the writing is on the wall. Absolutely, if we can go out and pick up a guy that could be plug and play, that would give us a higher ceiling, a higher floor than JJ has right now, because there's no doubt that if JJ was able to elevate his floor, his potential is there, right? As long as he can stay healthy, then he could definitely be that guy that KOC wants. But it's when his job's on the line, he's not going to risk waiting a year and seeing if that's going to pan out. So I do agree with you that there is going to be I think we are definitely going to go for someone, even though I personally wouldn't want that to happen, because I still have a lot of faith in the young man. There's been so many things that he did. I get what you're saying too, but there's another thing that kind of rings true in my head, because Kurt Warner's talked about his time with Eli Manning when he was his backup, and in general about what future franchise quarterbacks and rookie quarterbacks, what it does to them when you pull them in games late in the season or during the season, what it does to their confidence. He's talked about what it's like to bring in a quarterback to replace them and sit them, what that could potentially do to the ceiling or just completely break the kid. A lot's been said about his confidence. He's got delusional confidence, so maybe he can overcome a veteran quarterback coming in to step in to show him the ropes or show him the way, or whatever the case may be. So I totally understand that. But if we aren't able to land a premier guy that is clearly night and day better than JJ, I think that we just have to bring in someone that will just compete with him instead, to kind of force him to elevate to a status where he can, because we don't want to ruin his potential. Because what happens if we bring in an older guy, Aaron Rodgers or Kyler Murray or whoever it is, and then he fails or he gets injured, and then we have to turn to the young man, and his confidence is shattered, and now he looks worse than we saw him last. We're in a really crappy situation.
Okay, what I'm getting from you is you're trying to put in situations where that JJ, you're trying to give hope to JJ, but you got to understand supreme. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. If you was Kevin O'Connor, you coach of the Minnesota Vikings, you know that guillotine is gonna be down in your neck if you don't get this team into the playoff or beyond. You cannot afford to have this type of season next year and lose three games in a row. The Wills are going to get rid of you. They're showing you now that they're not playing no games. You're not expendable. KOC is next. Okay? KOC is next. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, and also the Viking fans that are in this live chat, what would you do? Would you go out there and look for somebody, a premier quarterback that can help you get to the playoffs or beyond to save your job? Or will you go with J.J. McCarthy next year? I mean, we don't have time for this man development. KOC don't have time. His neck is on the line. You keep going around that. You can't go around. KOC is not going to. First of all, he really doesn't want him as a quarterback anyway. He know his mechanics ain't right. KOC ain't got time for that right now. It's too much pressure. You got it from you already talked about the conference, the Green Bay Packers. You know the Bears. You're also talking about possibility the Detroit Lions, the NFC itself, 49ers, Rams. They'll be back. The Seattle Seahawks will be back. He has too much pressure for him to sit there, and hopefully that this young man will grab it at 22 years old and will grab it and prepare him. He don't have time for that. He got to bring somebody in there to save his job. He got too much pressure on him. Really, he got Kwesi out the way. He got what he wanted. Now he got the green light. He got the reins, baby, to make the horses move. All right, and he's going to do it. KOC going nonstop. I see him. He done brought these 4 coaches in the next day. That man is not playing. He gonna keep that job, baby. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. If I was in that situation, I understand that pressure, but for sure.
Here you go.
No, like I agree with you in that all that is looming over, and when your job is on the line, you switch to more drastic measures, 1,000%. So I would love to say, well, I don't know. I'm a man of faith, so I have a lot of faith. So I don't know.
Faith ain't gonna help KOC.
The thing is that
tell you.
Now, I would love to say that I would hold on to my guns and go with my faith and say that I'm just going to trust that if we keep an O-line healthy, JJ's going to shine and whatnot. But I'm also realistic, and I'm extremely logical, and faced with everything that you just said, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure I would shop around and look to see if I could find a premier quarterback. But
there you go.
Mac Jones is probably the best quarterback that we could honestly go for. Other than
there you go.
There's nobody else really. Like Kyler Murray. The thing that I don't think that Kyler Murray would work is because he's got to have in his contract that he can't play video games and he's got to study. And we know that KOC's playbook and his offense is one of the most complicated and everything.
Oh, I think they took that out. Once they put that in his contract, I'll be like a week later, they took that out of Kyler Murray's contract.
Did they? Okay. Mm-hmm. But, it's a thing of work ethic, right? And that right. He's going to have to elevate and wrap his mind around. I know he's a more veteran quarterback. His floor is a lot higher than JJ's, so he does have a good arm talent. And the chip on the shoulder that he would have after being let go or traded from the Cardinals might be the thing that humbles him into being a really good quarterback going forward. But at the end of the day, that leads me to the same situation. I have to have faith in Kyler now. You know what I mean? So if I was going to go choose a quarterback that's like proven, that can do it, I think Mac Jones is probably the best suited.
Yeah, Mac Jones. Yeah. I'm with that.
Because he's also been with Kyle Shanahan, and KOC's part of the Mike Shanahan coaching tree, right? Now
that's where Sam Darnold came. Sam Darnold came from there.
Absolutely, and that's why he was able to pick up KOC's offense really easily. Now, Andre said in the chat that KOC doesn't run the ball, but KOC ran the ball when we had Dalvin Cook. When we have a good O-line, his run game works. In the last couple seasons, before our left tackle, Christian Darrisaw, went down, we ran the ball pretty good. And then all of a sudden, that just went out the window when we had Cam Robinson. This year, we had a terrible O-line, so we couldn't run the ball. We know that Jordan Mason is a good running back, but when the run block doesn't develop, when the hole doesn't open up, it doesn't matter how great of a running back you can't force things out of nothing, right? So the O-line also plays a massive factor in which why KOC didn't run the ball a lot this year. Now, I want us to draft a nice young change of pace back, a guy that can hit the hole and then be gone, a guy that's got explosive speed that can open up to go alongside of Jordan Mason, because I know Jordan Mason, given good run blocking, because we've seen it at times, and we've also seen it in San Francisco, the man can fall down for 5 yards, okay? Like, sometimes it looks like, oh, he's got a half a yard, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, he got 4 yards there. What the heck happened there? He's just a good, angry runner like that, right? So the O-line needs to be healthy. We cannot go with that many injuries. Our offensive line coach was extremely ill-prepared for the injuries. Our backups were just not prepared well enough to be able to handle what came at us. That's, at the end of the day, injuries are part of football. That's really no excuse. Chris Cooper, you should have been doing your job so that could have been mitigated. We saw a lot of other teams' O-lines be not as injured as ours. I will say that. We were probably the worst injured O-line in the league, but they made adjustments, and they made things work when things weren't working, when the injuries first started to happen. So, the Chargers, for one, right? So there's no excuse there. And to tie back, yeah, it would have to be a quarterback. Like, we're not seeing Joe Burrow. We're not seeing a top-tier quarterback that's going to be let go from another team. We're not making a blockbuster trade like that. So I can basically put that out of my mind, which leaves Mac Jones really the only quarterback that could potentially do it, unless we see Phillip Rivers come out of it and we kind of coax him in here. You know what I mean? Like, because at times he has the ability, you know what I mean, to deal with pressure. He makes good decisions, but he's still a freaking old man. It's still a thing of, I have to now have faith that he can do it. I have to have faith in Kyler. It's not going to be Tua, because we know that Tua and B-Flow don't get along, so he's not coming, right? So there's really nobody outside of Mac Jones, honestly speaking.
It might be Aaron Rodgers. Pittsburgh let him go.
Absolutely, it could be Aaron Rodgers, 1,000%. But at this point, I'd like to. Oh man, it's a good question. I'd like to say my heart tells me, my faith tells me that I would roll with JJ McCarthy, bring in a guy like a veteran quarterback, backup quarterback like Tyrod Taylor that you can depend on in times, as well as just see what JJ has, because of how slim pickings it is. But the realistic, logical side of me says they're probably going to make a move for Mac Jones, because we did that same situation with freaking Sam Darnold. But will the 49ers let go of Mac Jones? At the end of it all, are we even going to have a guy to be able to trade for someone which is better than JJ McCarthy, or has a higher ceiling than JJ? It may not be in the cards for us. We might be stuck with Joe Flacco. We might be stuck with, if Carson Wentz is healthy coming back, you know what I mean? Like, we might, Tyrod Taylor, Kirk Cousins has been floating around, and you know what I mean? Like, that might be who it is. And if it's those guys, I would just rather run with JJ, because I just have more faith in him than I have any of those guys. So,
well, the thing about it, what I see it, Supreme, is that it's KOC's job, man. And KOC is going to get the quarterback that he wants. It just bottom line. And he don't want McCarthy to come back and jeopardize his job. I'm telling you right now, that number 9 that you're wearing, that right there is going to be a throwback. I promise you that. You might get ready to hang that thing up, because I'm telling you, KOC is not going with that man. I mean, it's just too much. Man, why would he do that? Because you got Brian Flores creeping, possibly gonna get your job if you don't produce within 6 games. The man is proven. He just been blackballed by the league. But the Will still believe in him. And they don't mind bumping him up. There you go. He got his head coaching job right there. KOC out the door. KOC know it. He breathing down his back. Sam Darnold go to the Super Bowl, light it up, win the Super Bowl. You're going to look like an idiot because you let him out your camp. But it wasn't you. It was Kwesi that done it. You want the man. Now it's looking back. Everything pointing at KOC. It's pointing at him. And KOC is going to make it right. He's doing it right because he done went and got them 4 coaches today. He got those 4 coaches yesterday. He been doing this. He been working behind the scenes. He just needed to go to the Wills and give him that green light. And when they gave him that green light, say no more. That man took off because he know that it is. If he don't get it, he done, man. He done. And it's not like waiting all season long. He can't go through another season like that. The Wills are not having it. I promise you they're not going to have it. They will give him the guillotine within 6 games. You say 8, I say 6.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. No, I there's no denying what you're saying for sure. But at the same time, there's a realism there that we may not have a guy to be able to trade for.
They will. They'll make it happen. They ain't going with JJ. I'm just telling you, they ain't going. It's not. It's KOC too smart. He knows that he had. That's the one position of any sports is the most important position of any sport. The quarterback. We know that. KOC has to have his man. He ain't got time to hope that JJ McCarthy this. He ain't got time. He can't put his job on a hope. He has to get out there and get his man. And Brian, the defense gonna be there. We know that. We ain't even talking on that side of the ball. We ain't worried about Flores. He gonna do what he do. That will be a Super Bowl caliber defense. I promise you that. Promise you that, because Brian Flores is gonna get the 1st and 2nd pick. There's something that had for him to sign that contract. They gave him reign that you will get the 1st and 2nd pick to build your defense. And in free agency.
Absolutely.
Defense, I don't worry about the defense. I'm not even that's no problem. That'll be there. I'm telling you this offense. And it start with that number 1 position, that quarterback, KOC. No, he got that. He had to go in there and get that green. He had to get Kwesi Adofo-Mensah out of there. He had to. He got him out. Now it's on you. Now you ain't got no excuse. We gave you the green light. Do what you do, baby. You want to keep your job. And sure enough, that man done hired 4 coaches today. He on the road, baby. He ain't playing. This is a different KOC than what you know, bro. I'm telling you, he is making tough decisions. He's not putting his arm around it. No more of that. No, baby.
Absolutely. Now, I know this let's transition to, because I agree with you. It's not, I like to play devil's advocate as well, because that's one of the skill sets that I learned in college. But because you always have to think about that to kind of really solidify your position. And I agree with you. I'm not denying that. And when your head's on the chopping block, you're going to do what you need to do. If we can't draft, or no, let's just say we're not even going to talk about free agency or trading or anything like that. If there's no top tier guy, what are your thoughts? Do you think, there's any possibility that we trade up? Is there even a quarterback in this draft outside of Mendoza? I'm sorry, host. Do you think we can fleece the Raiders for their number 1 pick, or is there somebody else that's up there that could potentially come in, or is that just not an option, because that essentially stepping back into the exact same situation that we had with JJ this year, where you're going to have to depend on a rookie to over excel and be Jaden Daniels or be CJ Stroud in year 1, where they just look like a premier quarterback right out of the gate, is that an option? What do you think? Because
no, what I'm telling you, there's not an option in this draft. That's not a move to make, because you be back in that same situation with JJ McCarthy, like you said. He ain't got time for that, man. He ain't got time. Plus, you got to look at JJ. You got to look at Justin Jefferson. You cannot have this man have another frustrating season. This is the most frustrating season. We got the top wide receiver, non-disputable in the NFL. You can't dispute that. You cannot have this man having a mindset wanting to go to the front office talking about I want to get traded. So you better get the right quarterback in there that's going to make him happy. Whereas I promise you, he was not happy at all with the way the quarterback situation was going on. That man barely squeaked out 1,000 yards. Barely.
Absolutely.
You cannot have your star receiver going into next year with a hope or maybe quarterback. That ain't going to work. You can scratch that right there off top. Forget that. We got to go out there and do, like I said, in free agency, or go out there and trade for a proven guy that's out there, the KOC he wants. You know, time is ticking, Supreme. We don't have a time for all this development, what you're talking about with JJ. But I know you love the guy or whatever, but he's just in the wrong situation, man. He should have shined this year, and maybe we weren't thinking about getting a quarterback. But it didn't, apples didn't fall that way for him. So KOC, his neck is on the line. Brian Flores behind you. Sam Darnold's out there in the Super Bowl about to get the host the damn trophy up. So he got too much pressure cracking down his head. And he has to make good this year. And if he don't get it right by the first 6 games, his ass out of here. Straight up. And Brian Flores going to be taking over. He don't want that. He know that. He went in there, got Kwesi out of there. Got him out.
Absolutely. Gone. Here's one for you. What about this situation? The Rams underperformed with MVP caliber Matt Stafford. Do you think if they commit to a rebuild, we might be able to get old Stafford for a year?
I'll take that.
Stafford is, although he's not mobile, you know.
I don't care. I'll take that, but he's smart.
He's so smart. He can definitely. We know he can run KOC's offense because he did it in Rams.
We build that line, get Priest Hall in free agency. I would take that all day long. 1 year contract. I would take that all day long, baby.
It was funny
that defense.
Last year, after the loss to the right before the Rams game, there was I think after the Lions games, there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of speculation that right before the deadline, you know, we might trade Sam for Stafford. I remember making a thumbnail and talking about those rumors. And imagine if it comes 2 years later. Imagine, because, hey, what do the Rams have to lose if they, you know, like, are they in a position to make a run next year? Are they already starting to fall off? Is he too expensive for them? Like, that might actually be the guy, you know, if it's not Mac Jones. Other than that, who else do you see that would be worth going for?
I don't think they're going to move on from him, though. I really don't think they're going to move on. I think he's 37 years old. So I still think he got at least a couple more years. So they're not going to move on from him. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. You know, maybe a 3-team deal. Mac Jones to the Rams, freaking JJ to the 49ers, Stafford to the Vikings. You know what I mean? Something like that.
But when you start to get into some of these things, a lot of these things involve picks. And we can't afford to we're trying to build. We got to get that Brian Flores got to get his defense right. So we got 8 picks, man. We can't afford to give up picks like that, man. You know, and definitely we got to hold on to that number 1. We can't let nobody get our number 1 pick, man. So we just got to deal with something that's going to get us over the hump at least a year. We're trying to just get someone that's going to get into the playoffs and maybe beyond, but at least get us into the playoffs and hopefully win the game. But he has to get in. You know, he has to get in. So and then, like you say, we build with these picks. That's why we got Kwesi out of there. So he won't stop us, hinder us from picking the kind of talent that we want to pick. Because this draft is deep in cornerbacks. Deep. When I say deep in wide receivers. I mean, they deep, man. So we have to hit. We have to hit hard and hit strong to help build this defense and build this offense up, man. And yeah, I really feel, man. Kwesi, man, I know. We can say all these things, Skull Nation, live chat, Purple Games, the ones that drink the Purple Kool-Aid. I promise you, you listen to the Q-Dogg. And I'm telling you, when it comes to fruition, you're going to say Q-Dogg was right. KOC is going to bring in his quarterback. That number 9 jersey that he got on, you won't see that no more. That's good fireplace material, or do what you want to do with it, wash your car. But I promise you, he will not be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings this year.
You heard it
Dog
here
folks, man.
first, guys. This is why I defer to the Q-Dogg, because he definitely knows football. He has been a Vikings fan for a long time. You're tapped in with more how they think, how they act, what they're looking for on top of your perspective is definitely something that I value. But I can't help but not play devil's advocate here and there, and try to think and be optimistic and have some faith, you know what I mean? But I agree with you, but like
AOC.
let's move on to one last topic. What do you want to see in the draft that we're coming up? We'll finish up and wrap up with some draft talk.
Uh, well, I think what the first two picks we're going defense. I think that's the reason why Brian Flores came back. I think that's part of the package. Definitely, it's going to be corner. And so I like that boy Mason Delane out of LSU, straight blanket corner, or McCoy from Texas. But he sat out for a year because he had an ACL injury. But all systems are go with him. You can't go wrong with either quarterback. I think somebody might pick a corner before us, but either way, we'll get one of those corners. And then second pick, I like to get that safety out of New Orleans. Out of Oregon. He plays just like Harry the Hitman, just a mirror image of him. He'd be good in Brian Flores defense, and get that tight end with the third pick from NC State. He's a good one because we're going to let TJ Hawkinson ride, save up on salary cap money and everything. But we definitely go on defense. We got to have, with these receivers that we have, that we compete with in this division, we got to have some shutdown corners, baby. We got to have them. Our corners back give up too much cushion, and put Murphy back in the slot, what he's famous for, and get us two good blanket cornerbacks. Maybe get Woolen out of free agency from Seattle Seahawks. He's a tight man-to-man coverage corner, but we need them type of corners right there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going straight for the juggler when it comes for defense. Brian Flores, that's the reason why he came back. He will have a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, for sure. It's going to be an interesting offseason. It's going to be an interesting draft. I'm all for it. I want the best for my team, and whatever way we get there, that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. I definitely think that you are, you definitely sold me on a lot of things. I'm always going to play devil's advocate, but it'd be nice to get some of these nice young draft picks on our defensive side, because defense is what's going to lead us through this rough patch and give us that the offense the ability to do what they need to do, and so I'm excited, let's finish off with a bold prediction and a straight out drinking the purple Kool-Aid prediction as well. So like a good bold prediction that's reasonable, and something that's like straight out of the moon.
My bold prediction that the running game will take a massive step this year. I think they're going to I hope they bring in Breece Hall. I like him. We need a home run hitting back. There's one going to hit that hole and run for 60 or 70-yard touchdown or 50-yard touchdown, and along with the complementary of Mason, the pound inside the red zone type of back. So the running game will take a big leap this year. It's going to help our offense. We got rid of Chris Cooper. We will solidify the center position, and also we'll get the offensive line straight with our new offensive line coach, and we will get Justin Jefferson the ball. We will, but not be spread. But we'll be back. The defense will be back. We'll be a force to reckon with. We'll be the type of Minnesota Vikings that we played the last 5 games. You're going to see that type of Minnesota Vikings all season long. I promise you that.
Awesome. And then I'm going to say my bold prediction for next year is that through the draft or whichever means necessary, we're going to end up with a shutdown corner. I don't know
That's
who
right.
it is, where it's going to
Yeah,
come from,
right.
but I have a feeling
We
that Brian
we together
Flores,
on that.
that's one of the things that he wants, because as soon as he's got that, I think
Right.
it's going to be able to unlock another level of his defense, which I'm excited to see how every year it's evolved, his scheme. So it looks incredible, and I just want to see that. So that's my bold prediction. And then my drink in the Kool-Aid prediction, I'm going to say that the Minnesota Vikings are going to start off 6-0.
Ooh.
Regardless of who the quarterback is, whether that's JJ, whether that's Kyler, whether that's Matt Stafford, or whoever we get at quarterback, 6-0.
Aha. All right. I
Do you
hope
have
you're
a
right.
a crazy out of pocket prediction for us?
I don't really do predictions. I don't do scores. I just know that we will be very more competitive than what we were. Where this was a disaster team. I hope we be injury free. I hope the injury bug don't bite us. Number one, and I really feel that Jordan Nelson is going to get off. I think we're going to bring in some type of tight end. I think number 84 is going to get off too. Another tight end. I think we need to use him more. But the running game will be it will be paramount. I think the running game is really going to change things. I think Kevin O'Connell, he brought in another offensive guy that he brought in well in the four coaches, and he's really good at establishing the run game and the offensive line. So he's going to help collaborate with Kevin O'Connell and get that run game going. And so we'll be a top run team too, as it is. But that defense is going to be shut out. I can predict that we will. I think that teams will not score no more than maybe 15 points. I'm going to bump it up a little bit. It was 18.
Ooh,
15 points a game.
there we go. I like that. That's a nice little bold
Yeah,
little
Brian Flores going to
drinking
get
the
out for
Kool-Aid prediction, right? I
drinking
like
it
that.
up,
I
getting
love it.
drunk on the Kool-Aid, baby.
I love it.
Hey, yeah, Kool-Aid. Where you at, baby?
And then I know that it's definitely, I think we're ready to move on from Hawkinson. One last point that I want to say before we sign off. One, thank you for everybody in the chat that's been here. I'm sorry that we weren't able to get to the chat. We're rocking Streamlabs today only. We're not using StreamYard, so it's a little bit different. But I do appreciate you guys all. I've been trying to catch as many of you guys as possible. We appreciate every single one of you guys and your opinions. It's important to us. But yes, I think it's time to move on from TJ Hawkinson. I know he looks like a Viking. I know he's done a lot and he's got a lot of skill, but his contract is too expensive. And Josh Oliver, I'm telling you, that boy, he can block and he's clutch. He's a good route runner and he's got secure hands. So if he's out there and you just get conditioned and he's just going to be blocking, he can be invisible to some of these defenses and he can provide the same sort of safety blanket to the quarterback that TJ Hawkinson has been known to do in previous years, right? So I think it's time to move on from him. I think another page has been turned in the Minnesota Vikings history books here, and I think we take another step forward, moving towards where I think that KOC and Brian Flores have sold the Wilfs on what they want to accomplish with this team, and it's just time's going to tell. And I think we're in for a really fun season next year. And I think we're going to be a lot better than a lot of people think. So, any final words, Q-Dogg?
I just want to thank Supreme for allowing me to come on and talk to the Viking nations on the purple and gold bars. I love each and every one of you Viking fans. I am a true pledge allegiance to the Viking fans. I've been there since 1989, baby. Yes, sir. I've been there a long time. And I'm telling you, the dog know his team. And I want y'all to have faith and believe that we're going to, this was a dismal year. And I tell you, it hurts me to watch football in the playoffs and we're not in it. I don't know if that don't hurt you, you're not a true Viking fan. I tell you that. But I just want to thank y'all for letting me on, and I want y'all to come on Tuesday night, the Real Sports Podcast, the Power Hour. We'll have the host on, and we'll go let the live chat just go off. Just put your thoughts into the host, wreck his brain up, just blow his head up. He ready for you come Tuesday, 7 o'clock, baby, at the Real Sports Podcast. Then come back in on Saturday with me and the boys, Supreme, T, and Rock. We're going to give you some action, baby, 7 o'clock Saturday. Be there sharp. Bring your information, bring all your notes and everything. Come on the live chat, baby, because we got it for you. Love you and see you there. Yes, sir.
Let's go, Q-Dogg.
Let's
and
go,
also,
baby.
A good another announcement after the Real to Sports podcast next week. We're gonna take we're gonna end up back on my channel here, and we're gonna just relax. We're gonna just be chilling. It's not gonna be like round table or anything. We're just gonna have fun, where it's gonna be a laid back. It's gonna be purple and gold, Real to Sports after hours, where the host, me, Q-Dogg, Rock, I know he's got a busy life, and he might join us for a few minutes here and there before he's got to go take care of business and whatnot. But we're gonna relax. We're gonna be nice and relaxed. So that's gonna be a new show that we're gonna be doing every Saturday after the Real to Sports podcast. And last but not least, thank you to Keith over at Let's Skol and all those guys. We are part of the Let's Skol network of channels here that he is growing. So don't forget to check out the Let's Skol YouTube channel as well. Thursday nights we're going to be doing collaborations with Skol Cole and a couple other channels that have joined the Let's Skol network. So don't forget to check us out, guys. More things are to come. I know we're transitioning into off-season mode here. We'll be doing, I don't want to give you guys daily in the off-season because I don't want to waste your time in giving you guys random topics and just kind of forcing content. We're going to have one show that's going to be just the Purple and Gold Bar Show talking about certain things. And then we're going to have our Real to Sports Saturday, our after hours show. And then whenever we join up with the Let's Go Network and giving you guys some quality content, not just fluff or filler, just to get the hours in or just to get the views in, because we appreciate you more than you guys can imagine. Thank you so much for everybody. Thank you, Q-Dogg, for joining us. And we will catch you guys on the next live. Take care, everybody.